Nearly 20 years ago, I heard one of my favorite stories that I keep telling and telling and retelling as many times as I can get away with it. Mostly because it's a true story and a sad story, but a beautiful story. It's about a father and his daughter, and as a father with two daughters, I instantly connect with that kind of story. But this one is tragic because at the beginning of the story, we discover this dad and his daughter because his wife and her mom had just died. She had a long bout with cancer and it finally consumed her. The daughter was young, just 11 or 12 years old. And immediately, just as you might suspect, the family was thrown into turmoil. Because what do you do when you have lost someone who's so close to you, that you love so much, that you expected a long life with? And here's a man with a young daughter in a really crucial time. Like, I know what that feels like. Having had two daughters at that time in life, there are so many things that I was grateful to have their mother around for that I just didn't know about, didn't know what to do, didn't know what to buy, didn't know what questions to ask. But life keeps going on. And we're in the middle of Advent and talking about Advent conspiracy. And one of the things that always just pops out of the page to me when I'm reading the Advent story is that as Mary and Joseph are in Bethlehem, just doing the most routine thing, because Joseph is a descendant of David, he has to go to Bethlehem, his ancestral home, just to be a part of the census, just doing a regular old, everyday, 99-cent, pay your taxes kind of thing. Luke tells us that while they were there, Mary went into labor. Life has this habit of happening, huge events happening, not when we plan for them or when we want them to happen, but while we're just doing something else. And that's what had happened with this dad and his daughter. His wife, her mother, died. And so life moves on. And so he went back to his job. He was a school teacher. She was in school. And he was looking forward to the Christmas holiday because she was grieving and he was grieving and life was moving fast. They didn't have very much time together. He didn't know what to do, how to help her. And he thought, well, when the Christmas holiday gets here, we'll have 10 days, we'll have 2 weeks, something like that, where we can connect and be together. We can walk through this together. Because those of you who have lost someone know how difficult the holidays can be. And so the holidays came, and that was back in the days when you had a big Christmas holiday and you kind of had like a week before Christmas and then a whole week after. Schools do that all differently now. Sometimes, like my wife, she only gets a couple of days before actual Christmas Day. And so he was looking forward to it, but she came down for breakfast that first morning of Christmas break. And she ate her breakfast and then went back upstairs. And she would just appear every now and then, maybe to sit with him to watch a TV show, maybe to have a meal, but spent most of the time in her room. And he was flailing. And here he was thinking, I just lost my wife, and now I've lost my daughter. He was deflated. But then Christmas morning came. And for their own reasons, they had decided that they would just stay together on Christmas Day, just the two of them that morning. But that morning was different. She didn't just walk down the stairs to come have breakfast. She bounded down the stairs with this box in her hand. And they sat and opened the gifts together. And finally, she reached over for this box, the one that she had carried down the stairs. She gave it to him and he opened it. Inside the box was this pair of handmade Argyle socks. And she said, Daddy, do you like them? I made them just for you. That's what I've been doing up in my room this whole time, the whole Christmas break. I wanted you to have them. And he grabbed her clothes, held her, and said, thank you, sweetie, they are beautiful. But inside his heart, he was thinking, oh, sweetie, I could have gone to the store and bought me some socks. What I wanted was you. One of the principles, one of the tenets that we talk about when we talk about Advent conspiracy is this idea of give more. And for some people, giving more is exactly what that girl did. She put her heart and soul, she made something with her hands, she created for her father. It is a beautiful gift. There's no way to go wrong with that. But what we often find ourselves falling into is this pattern that the rest of the world does, where we exchange gifts and we don't really give gifts. And what we want to invite you into is reimagining what the Christmas season can look like for you, where you're the kind of person who doesn't just give something that you grabbed on Black Friday or Cyber Tuesday, but something of yourself. And there's so many ways to do that. You can do it in the way that this daughter did it. She gave something of herself. But you can also do it in the way of what the Father wanted, the very presence of themselves. Here's the difficulty that we have to walk into and embrace during the Advent season. That what some people in the world need most can't be shipped in a box, won't be found on sale. It's not something that you can plop down the American Express for. What most of us need are people. And for someone in your life, that gift is you. There's likely a relationship that you have been hesitant to reconcile. There are people that you need to see. There are places that you need to go. Several years ago, I was in a process of working through some things in my own life, and I decided the thing that I actually need this Christmas is for my brother and my dad to come here for Christmas. And so I did whatever I needed to do. Christmas is hard to get away from your hometown when you're a pastor. There are Christmas Eve services. So most of the time people have to come to me. And I can think of 2 Christmases in my adult life that were particularly important to me. And it was that one when my dad and his wife and the 3 very young girls that they have adopted in their 70s were all with us, my brother and his wife. And then the first Christmas after COVID that I spent with my brother, my last Christmas with my brother. Those were gifts. Because we could give each other almost anything. We all have resources to make a purchase possible. But purchases are different from gifts. And so my invitation to you is, in this season, can you actually give a gift? Is there more of yourself that you could give to someone, a parent, a child, an old friend, a distant relative, that will exceed for your life and for their life anything that you could ever purchase? I think that's what it means to give more. Have a blessed Advent season.